Hi besties, and welcome back to episode 16 on Tiny 2. I'm so excited to share today's episode with you guys because this is the second time that we're actually doing some proper decorating on the island. So far we've really only done the entrance and then like the museum area, even though that area is still pretty unfinished. But today we're going to be working on making a hybrid flower field or hybrid flower farm in front of my house. I don't want to just decorate the island with only white flowers, so I knew that I wanted to create a place where I could try to breed the different hybrid flowers in the game, which is actually another element of the gameplay that I've never really explored because I've always just used treasure islands and my modded switch to get whatever color flowers I want. So I'm very curious to see how long it takes for me to get hybrids and just to kind of see how long it takes, I guess, to get some of the more difficult ones. But I started doing some of my dailies. I really didn't do many dailies at all today, but I did just want to check Able Sisters because I knew that I was going to want to download a couple of codes for this build. Previously, when I had started the Tiny Toot series, I said that I wasn't going to be using any custom codes at all, and this has been really the only rule that I have bent just a little bit because I feel like I really enjoy playing the game with custom codes. But I've been trying to find codes that kind of enhance the natural sort of gameplay and nothing that makes it look too custom. I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but I found these little borders that I thought might look really cute around where I'm going to be breeding the flowers. I kind of want to separate them into their own like little plots, and then I also downloaded a couple of outfits and some bangs just to kind of customize my character, and this is what it looks like. I think it looks so cute. I love it. And then I decided to donate the jolly painting that we got at Red's little boat yesterday, and it actually ended up being a legitimate painting even though I just grabbed one at random. So I feel like I was actually pretty lucky for that. And then I checked my Nook Miles, but I didn't have anything to redeem yet. So we're hopping right into, I guess we can sort of call this a speed build because I have sped this footage up a little bit to keep the video from being too long. I did move my house back yesterday, so now we have a nice space in front of where this pathing ends and where my house starts. And because I'm using only in-game pathing on this island, I've decided to do these little circles leading to my house that I'm kind of trying to imagine like they're really big stepping stones, and I think they look really cute, and it kind of breaks up the structure of the way that I'm doing the in-game pathing, but it still keeps it cohesive because we're still using the same stone. I just think it looks super cute. I honestly cannot wait to get the green leaf pile DIY because I cannot wait to put green leaf piles all over the island. I feel like the green leaf pile and the scattered papers are some of my favorite like little items to just kind of put around, and I think it's gonna look so cute once we get those. I did kind of skip forward a little bit because I had ended up putting the border around the dirt path, and you'll see a little bit later in the video I actually end up having to erase it because I realized that I can't actually plant flowers there because the custom path like prevents that from happening. So yeah, I think it looks so cute like this, and if there would have been a way for me to make it work, I would have loved to leave it, but it just didn't work out, unfortunately. Yesterday I also ordered a wind turbine, and so I go ahead and put that behind my house. I am leaving a lot of like blank areas around, which I don't typically do, but I kind of like the more simple look of everything. So yeah, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know that this is not my usual style of decorating, but I have been having a lot of fun with it, and I think the more minimal kind of simple aesthetic is really refreshing in comparison to what I typically do. I have actually started a second island, which is a beachy kind of coastal town theme, and we've been playing that quite a bit over on my Twitch channel. So if you're missing my old style of decorating and you want to come hang out with us on Twitch, I'd love to see you guys over there. I don't know that I'm going to be sharing the beachy island very much here on the channel because I feel like Tiny 2 is kind of taking up like all the space on the channel, rightfully so. So yeah, if you're interested in that, definitely go check out my Twitch. And then I went to go ahead and finish like the border that I have going on in this in-game path. I've been pretty lazy with putting the border down on some of the other areas, so I feel like at some point I'm going to have to go back and kind of fix all of that, and I'm really not looking forward to it because it really is pretty tedious. I did go through my inventory and I tried to find some items that I thought would look kind of cute for the flower farm, and I was actually surprised at how many things I've collected that are sort of perfect for a little farming area, so I was really excited about that. I feel like this is the best decorating that I've been able to do since I started the game, and I'm just living for that. I did manage to get turnips, and we do actually end up selling them today, just later in the video, and I think I got pretty close to like 200 bells for each of them. I feel like I could have held out just a little bit longer this week, but I didn't want to risk it being lower than that, and I honestly don't really have a lot of money at all, so I feel like getting at least a double return on my investment is pretty good for my first time buying turnips. I need to figure out how to like look up where my projected like turnip fluctuations are going to be. I know that there's a way that you can kind of predict this, and I don't consider that to be cheating, so I kind of feel like I want to try to do that. I just don't know how. So if you guys have any advice about how to, anticipate your stock market, definitely let me know in the comments. I did want to set up the outside of my house pretty well for like everyday gameplay, so I am going to leave the shed and the DIY workbench out here just because I feel like those are items I'm going to end up using pretty often, so I want to leave them there for convenience. And then I just put the silo back there, and I feel like that really brings the farm together. I love using the bigger items in the back and a little bit of terraforming to give it like a nice little background. I think that looks super good. And then I'm just putting in some other little decor items. Keep in mind that I do end up like taking that border away, but I don't like change the position of any of the items. I really wish that I could have made the border work, but unfortunately I would have had to make my squares like really big to make enough room for the flowers to actually like become hybrids or whatever. And yeah, I just didn't really want to have the look of that. I did want my house to be a little bit separate from the rest of the island, so I'm using the vertical board fencing to just kind of give myself a proper yard, and I think this looks really nice and it kind of frames this whole area. I also wanted to set up a stall here so that I can have like a flower market stand, because of course it is a flower farm, so at some point I'm going to want to sell some of my flowers, I could imagine. So I wanted to put that there. At first, I end up using just like flowers that I've picked throughout the island. So if you're trying to decorate without very many items, that might be a really good option for you. But then I remembered later that I got the lilies, like the Casablanca lilies that are in like a, I don't know, jar or something like that, and I end up swapping those out instead. So I guess you get a couple of different versions of that. And then I'm just putting the hay bed in between here, and I think that looks really cute. This is honestly pretty close to being the end of the build, but I do end up having to get rid of the borders, like I said. I really wanted to incorporate the baby bear because I think he's so cute, but I think I ended up picking it up eventually because I just don't think it looks right there. This is the time that I go and sell all of my turnips, and I also wanted to buy a couple of things from Nook's Granny today. I feel like the coffee cup is so cute, and so is the book. I was tempted to buy several books, but you can see I really don't have a lot of money at all. Ended up with a few little bits and bobs in my inventory that I wanted to get rid of. I am actually pretty particular about having like junk in my inventory space. It actually really bothers me, and I'm kind of curious, do you guys have like a specific way that you like to organize your inventory? And if so, how is it? Like, I pretty much always keep my tools on like the top left corner, and then I try to kind of like, if there's junk in there, I will like stop by and kind of sell it and try to organize it. So yeah, I'm curious if you guys do it a little bit differently. And then I'm also buying some red, white, and yellow lilies because using this breeding guide, I decided to go for the lilies first, and so I'm planting them in the recommended configuration so that I can hopefully get each of the color variations. And I'm starting with just lilies in all 4 of the plots that I have because I don't have like cosmos or like any other flowers that I want to breed that were in my resident services today. So I figured I would just start with lilies, and then once we get the lily hybrids that we want, then I can dig them up and plant something else in these plots. And I did actually take the time to Google if the hybrids will pop up planting the flowers on dirt path, and Google says yes, that they will still show up on dirt path, but that you obviously can't place flowers on like the wood and the stone path. So I think we're all set to be able to keep them in their little, farm plots. And then here I am putting the flowers there. I think this version of the flower market stall looks really cute with just like regular picked flowers. I think that could be a really nice option if you also don't have a lot of items in the game yet. But I did end up switching it out, like I said earlier. And then I decided to completely fence in my yard over here on the side, but I'm going to be putting some trees in some of the empty spaces here just to kind of break up the fencing. Also, I didn't want to have to craft as much fencing. I know it's just 2 spots, but I do feel like it looks a lot better. I realize that I'm using a lot of hardwood trees on this island as well, and honestly, I just really like the look of them. I think they're so pretty and soft and kind of suits the vibes that I'm sort of going for this island, so I think I'm going to keep doing that as much as possible. I did plant some trees in the front here, and that's just me trying to like stunt the trees at various sizes, so that's not going to stay like that forever. There's a lot of like random messes all over the island right now as I try to figure out how things are going to be. And then I went through my inventory one last time to just make sure there were any other items that I wanted to use and just kind of add in a little bit more detail. I really want to add a picnic area somewhere in my yard at some point, and I think I might put it over by the fence, but I didn't download the picnic design yet, so that's going to be something that we maybe take care of on a different day. And then I go ahead and switch those out. I think the Casablanca lilies look so cute. Also, we're going to be doing lilies on the flower farm, so I felt like it fit so well, and I grabbed a couple of items from my inventory to just kind of put along the side here, kind of by Shep's house. And I don't know, I'm just kind of slowly trying to decorate, but also I'm out of inventory space, or at least I was, so I felt like the more items I use, the better it is. And then here I am just checking those turnip prices for the day, and they ended up being $1.98, so I went ahead and sold all of the turnips that I bought earlier on Sunday, and I was able to get almost 200,000 bells, which I feel like is pretty good. So far, I still think catching the sea creatures is a better way to make money, but I know that you can make a lot of money from the stock market, so I just need to kind of get better at doing it. I did end up buying all of the custom design portals, and then I went through the Nook shopping to see what was available for just like, unique items, and I ended up getting the hand cart, the Switch, and the portable record player. I wanted to put all of my bells in the ABD because my plan was to try to grind for sea creatures to get more money, and I'm just telling you, spoiler alert, I did not do that. I did grab that random chair from the recycling bin and I just threw it right there. I really don't know why. But that is the end of the flower farm. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I am having so much fun decorating. It is such a different challenge working on this island, and I'm still loving it so much. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you are enjoying the series, and I will catch you next week for the next episodes.